Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Let's Play of Super Mario World. Suffice to say, Super Mario World really needs no further introduction than other people have already given it. My personal experience with this game, I've always been fascinated with video games, but as I may have mentioned maybe in the celebration of my father's 65th birthday, Super Nintendo was actually was one of, if not the only console my father played before he started getting into PC games. So this is kind of a fantastic treat for me. Now, I believe I've already covered an optimal playthrough of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, but Super Mario World, was a game that often came bundled with the Super Nintendo, this being no exception. Later iterations of Super Mario World for the Super NES would be actually included on the All-Stars port, and in that version, Luigi's sprite is actually much different, and he's not just a palette swap of Mario. Anyway, this game would later be ported to the Game Boy Advance under the title, now forgive me if I don't look this up right away, I believe it's Super Mario Advance 2 Super Mario World? Yeah, I don't know, it's weird to me too. Suffice to say, the Game Boy Advance version of this game has a few more bells and whistles going for it, but for the sake of video quality and such, I'm just doing a playthrough of the Super NES original. Now, I've already played this game on my own time, and suffice to say, I'm playing this on the Switch online service, so we'll have access to various extra bells and whistles here. I've kind of sorta already had a playthrough. Oh, I saved this twice? Well, in any rate, we have access to various features in this version, so without further ado, why don't we go ahead and just start the game. So welcome to Dinosaur Land. In this strange land, we find Princess Toadstool is missing again. Looks like Bowser is at it again. Well, based on that one-screen intro, I don't think we have anything to go on. Okay, so as far as this playthrough goes, I'm probably going to dedicate... the game is both long and short, I guess, if that makes any sense. So I'll probably dedicate, like, an entire world's worth of levels into each video, so as not to... so I don't have to arbitrarily stop time and just pick up where I left off. So anyway, Yoshi's Island is where we start off. Now, we have a choice. Now, players have a choice between doing the first level first or the second level first. Or they can go into this optional area called Yoshi's House. There's really nothing going for it here. You got a fireplace, a canopy that doubles as a roof, a mailbox. Yoshi pretty much lives outside. Sorry, not home. Gone to rescue my friends captured by Bowser. Yoshi. Okay, so these blocks here are new to the game. They only actually appear in this game. These are points of advice blocks. They basically just tell you how to play the game. But I'll probably do that. But I may or may do that throughout. Now, in the Game Boy Advance remake, they actually include a few extra berries on this tree so that Yoshi can actually... They actually include just enough berries for Yoshi to give you a power-up. Does it mean anything? No, but it's there. Plus, I believe for the Western audiences for this game, the red, blue, green, and yellow is probably holdovers, because in the Super Famicom, the controller layout was red, blue, green, and yellow. Yoshi's are red, blue, green, and yellow. Those birds up there are red, blue, green, and yellow. Koopa Troopas come in 3 different colors, although yellow is the rarest. Anyway, wasted enough time here. So why don't we just do the first level first? New to the game are shellless Koopas. Those are Yoshi coins, or Dragon coins as the game calls it. I think it would later change to Yoshi coins. But collect 5 of those in any stage, get an extra life. Yes, there can be more than 5, and yes, you can get multiple 1-ups that way. Sometimes if you pass over certain areas in this game, random stuff just pops out, like that mushroom just did. New to this game is the spin jump. Now I'm playing this on a Super Nintendo controller, but the spin jump in this game is done by the A button. It's also the first game, I think, in which Mario could be controlled with more than the A and B buttons. So anyway, you gotta be Super Mario to break these blocks here. Otherwise, Mario won't do anything. If you hit those blocks from underneath, they won't break right away. They'll just spin. Halfway point, basically, if you die, you get and start the level again, you start right here from where you left off. If you're small Mario, you will turn big. Something in which in Mario Maker they don't. In Mario Maker 2, you have to basically tell the post to do that. Otherwise, it won't do it. This just tells you about the extra mushroom or item we can hold in this blue box up here. If you want to release that at any time, just press select button. The item will automatically drop down if Mario takes a hit. I'll demonstrate that here. This is harkening back to the time in which they basically brought back the old difficulty in which if you get hit, regardless of what power you are, you go back to being small. I'm gonna jump up here. Now you can't. Now in this block right here is a 1-up. Now you can't. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, crud. Okay, well, you might have caught a glimpse of it, but up there was a 3-up moon. I think there's only 1 per world. It basically just gives you a 1-up or 3-up, 3 extra lives. Not very remarkable. So, end of every stage, if you hit the gold post, you get bonus stars. Collect 100 and you can play a mini game for more lives. As a kid, for whatever reason, I had difficulties with this game. Got game overs a lot. I don't know. I mean, in my defense, I was like 7 years old and just didn't really know or could grasp how to play the game. I mean, I could run just fine, but it's kind of like my difficulty with Mario 3 back in the day, you know? I just couldn't figure out how you hold a turtle shell. Now, later games in the Mario series would be a little bit more forgiving on how you pick up shells. Because in older games like this one, you have to be very precise. You have to approach it from the dead center side of a Koopa shell before you can pick it up. Anyway, level 2, pick this up. Bam, 1-up. Okay, so first time you meet Yoshi, he'll thank you, tell you a bit of exposition. Again, points of advice blocks, tell you how to play the game. That one just reminded you about the spin jump, which I already told you about. Speedrunners might recognize this stage as the stage in which you can get a special item. You can get a glitched item up there, which usually either ranges from like a basically a rideable cloud, Lakitu's cloud. I guess that's kind of a spoiler. It is something you can do in this game. Again, points of advice blocks. One notable thing is that if you're already riding a Yoshi and you happen upon a Yoshi egg, it'll just be a 1-up for you. Okay, fun fact some people may not know. So if you push the Y or X, the Y and X button both do the same thing, so that's not really remarkable. But every time you press Y or X while riding Yoshi, Yoshi will dip down and then try to eat something. However, if you press and hold up on the D-pad and press Y, he can do it from a standing position. Just, you know, doesn't break the game at all. Just something you can do. Okay, so one thing about Yoshi is that if you get hit while riding Yoshi, you won't lose your power-up, but you will have to chase after Yoshi to get him to come back. The guy... I guess that's why they made him a coward in the Mario World cartoon. I don't know. Okay, so flying blocks. These blue blocks here are actually the equivalent of the white block in Mario 3. You can basically... Oh, twofer. You can basically... You can pick them up, throw them, you know... first time in a Mario game where you can throw things straight up into the air by simply pressing and holding up. One thing you might not know about these blocks is that if you do that, Yoshi can eat one. So, every time Yoshi eats something, you'll basically get a coin for it. So... it's not just Yoshi swallowing something. That noise you hear is a coin noise. I think they implemented that in Mario Maker, although you don't get any coins by eating anything other than a coin. Weird. Okay, Charge and Chuck. There's several varieties of these guys. They're kind of like a mini-boss, I guess. Just jump on them 3 times or hit them with a barrage of fireballs. They'll go down easy. Okay, fun thing you can do. If you're holding an item in Yoshi's mouth or carrying it with you, if you press and hold down on the D-pad and press the button, you set the item down instead of kicking it around. Now, the thing with Yoshi here is that, see this switch here? I'm going to try to perform a trick here for you. First you push it. Okay, well, that didn't pan out. Okay. Okay, this. Now, as long as you quickly eat it, you can basically renew the switch. This is going to come in handy in the next stage we're about to head to. So if Yoshi has something in his mouth, eventually he will begin to swallow it. If you don't want to lose it, just spit it out if you can. That includes key items like keys and switches, but you'll probably end up using them long before then. So if you come back to Yoshi's house with Yoshi, hit the point of advice block, you'll get a different message, basically telling you about the switch palaces. This one basically tells you about the yellow ones. It's possible to fill in the dotted line blocks. To fill in the yellow ones, just go west, then north to the top of the mountain. So... nothing really remarkable. Unfortunately, Switch Palaces, even in the Game Boy Advance remake, are not replayable once they're finished. So, this is the Yellow Switch Palace. That's what the Switch Palaces look like. There's red, blue, green, and yellow. Again, Famicom colors. Okay, so we'll just go back up the mountain here. I don't know too many mountains that are perfectly flat with a gigantic ladder, but I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to climb it even with a mountain that size, even with a ladder. Anyway, the difficulty curve of these levels here aren't too bad. They're meant to be bonuses. This one doesn't have any enemies. So, but it does have a room full of coins. Now, as you can see, I just put the switch in Yoshi's mouth, so we'll be able to collect. We can pretty much continue to do, as long as we can continue to pull the trick off. We basically have as much time as we want in picking up all the coins. So unfortunately the room doesn't completely fill back up with coins, but neat trick you can do to maximize your bonuses. I mean, not that I really need all these coins, mind you. I mean, I'm pretty good at the game myself, but I don't know, in case you're not particularly good at platformers, I mean, there you go. Thought you could escape me, huh? And that's all of them. You won't get any extra. You won't get an additional score for beating this level. And the power of the switch you have pressed will turn these into these. Your progress will also be saved. So of the 4 Switch Palace blocks, only 2 of them will have items. The others are just plain Jane blocks that you can stand on. Yellow and green provide the items. Red and blue do nothing of the sort. Also, when you complete a Switch Palace, Castle, or Ghost House, yes, there are ghost houses in this game, you can have the option of either save and continuing, or save without, or continue without saving. I don't know, weird choices, I guess. Not that we have to worry about it, because, you know, again, this is really a Nintendo-approved emulator. Okay, Yoshi's Island 3. Again, this one just tells you about the dragon, the quote-unquote dragon coins. You know, after all is said and done, I'm not sure yet if I want to play if I want to show you footage of the GBA version of this game at any point to, you know, just show you any contexts. But there are differences between the games. Okay. So the thing about Koopa shells here, depending on which color Yoshi had in his mouth determines what he does. With red, he'll spit them back out as fireballs. Blue, he'll be able to fly. Green, well, nothing. You can just basically spit it out. But it does actually defeat the Koopa inside. Oh, that's another thing about the Koopas. Depending on how you beat the Koopas, like for example, see this Koopa here? Boom. Now you can barely see it, but you can sort of make out a pair of eyes there. That tells you that the Koopa was in there. And yeah, Koopas actually get back into their shells. Do it this way? Well, that Koopa was dead either way, but still. Stomp on an enemy. You know, basically if you press and hold the B button as you land on an enemy, you jump higher. But many people who play Mario games know that already. Let me see here. Oh, one thing to note. If you listen carefully to the music before and after I jump off of Yoshi, yeah, they actually add a bit of an instrument depending on whether Yoshi's with you or not. A star block, if you collect enough coins by the time, regular coins, by the time you reach that, it's either just a regular coin or a 1-up. I'm just gonna go ahead and go through the gate here. I mean, we're doing pretty good on lives. Okay, so first water level. Much like in Mario 3, if you look carefully at the level itself and the surrounding area, it kind of determines what kind of a stage it is. In Mario World, not so much. Basically whatever surrounding level pretty much is an indicator. Like this one right here, sitting in a body of water, so that'll tell the player that there's some water elements here. In all honesty, I don't think there are any. I I don't think there are too many levels in this game that are explicitly underwater. I mean, I think it's only basically a handful of them. Okay, so fun fact about these Pokies. If you have Yoshi, the Pokies are 5 stack. Now, if I don't have Yoshi, they're 3 stack. Now watch what happens when I jump back on Yoshi. Oh, how did Pokey get these extra segments? Also, if you're in a level you've already cleared, you can just exit to the map by pressing start and select. In a 2-player game, it will pass the turn off to the other player, so thing to note. And of course, 10 coin blocks make a comeback. In the Game Boy Advance, version, you can actually, I mean, you don't have a 2-player element, but you get to play as Mario or Luigi separately, and yes, Luigi does have different abilities than his own brother. One of which is that if Luigi hits a 10 coin block, all the coins pop out of the block at once. So, makes collecting it real quick, you know, much quicker. Also, Yoshi doesn't immediately swallow an enemy upon eating it if Luigi's riding him. He can basically just spit things back out. Like everything's a projectile, including Koopa shells, I believe. Okay, so first boss, Iggy Koopa. Fun fact about... Okay, so this basically just tells you you can climb things. If you want an extra life, easy. Basically, if you attack the Koopas from above, and if you're on the same side of the fence as they are, you can as long as you don't touch the ground, it counts as jumping. So, or not touching the ground. Yeah, suffice to say you got a pretty forgiving hitbox at this point. Wait for the fireball to pass. Yeah, so I really didn't have to do that. But, you know, something you can do if you want extra lives. Okay, and here's the boss store. Iggy Koopa, pretty unremarkable. Just, you know. Okay, well. Look, I never said I wasn't going to cheat. Okay, so, yeah, that's the first world done. It only took about... Oh, sorry, stretching out here. Only took about 25 minutes or so. And much like in Mario 2, the explosion says bomb and not boom. I don't think they fixed this in the GBA port, but... I don't know, is it fair to call it a port that early in video games? I mean, it's not technically a remake, I guess. So yeah, that was Yoshi's Island. One thing to note about this game is that a lot of these places are food themed, except for maybe the forest, but in the Valley of Bowser and the Star Road, yes, there is a Star Road in this game. So I think that'll probably do it for this episode. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Later.